Good day, everyone. I am Mark Vincent Imagon, a second-year student from Bachelor of Science in Criminology Block 9. I'm here in front of you to discuss the different signs and symptoms of guilt. So as we all know, as a good investigator, you must be a good observer as well. So dili lang ka expert ka more on forensic field investigation, but it is very important nga kibaw ka mo observe sa behavior or might be the emotion of your subject for you to know whether your subject are telling the truth or not, or might be that your subject is innocent or might be guilty. So again, our topic for today is the different signs and symptoms of guilt that an investigator must be aware and must observe well. So we have 10 signs and symptoms of guilt. We have first, color change. Second, sweating. Third, dryness of the mouth. And fourth is the excessive ability of Adam's apple or Adam's apple. 5 is fidgeting. And 6, we have inability to look straight to the interrogator's eye. And 7 is fidgeting. We have 8, peculiar or unusual expressions or unnecessary expressions. Number 9 is the swearing to the truthfulness of his assertions. So it's very important. And the last is the spotless record. So that are the 10 signs and symptoms we're going to discuss this time for you to be aware of. So we will go to the first one, which is the color change. So color change, as what you can see, is the blushing or red color of the face. So the blushing or the red color of the face, the pallor of the face. So from the word itself, color change na changes sa imong color sa imong now. Once man-blush ka, sa color sa blush, mag-red imong that shows a color, a change of color in your face. And once you are blushing, that means you are anger or nasuko ka, or might be you are in a state of humiliation, or you are ashamed. Nasuko ka, might be kay ang iyang gisulti sa interrogator is tinuod, or might be but or dili tinuod, or against your will, and ashamed ka nga may bawaan whether ang ingon sa interrogator is tinuod or dili. So we have that color blushes. Then color blushing of your face. And next is the pallor of the face. When we talk about pallor, is kanang mangluspad ang imong dagway. So that shows another changes of color nga nag-shows a sign and symptoms of guilt. So when we talk about pallor of the face, nag-show na siya og tension, fear, or anxiety. So kung mangluspad gali imong naong, that means nga na-tense ka or might be in hadlock. So similar pud siya sa blushing or the red color of your face. So again, the color change is another symptoms para makaingon ta nga guilt or guilty ang imong subject, or might be he's an innocent. So that are the basis. Proceed to the second one, is the sweating or the perspiration accompanied by flushed face, which indicate anger, extreme nervousness. So have you experienced kanang it is similar lang po sa color change, but ang ilang kalayan is, we talk about sweating is mura kag ipaningot. So sige, on there is sweating or perspiration accompanied by flushed face indicative of anger. So kung nang blush ka plus gisingot pa jud ka, so that shows nga nakay tense, or might be nasuko ka, or might be extreme nga kakulba. Nganong gikulbaan man ka, or might be the reason why gikulbaan ka kung kay tinuod, or might be the reason why gikulbaan ka kay para nimo makyusahan ka sa usa ka kaso nga wala nimo buhata. So that is the sweating or perspiration. And we have also the cold clammy perspiration. It is the manifestation of shock, fear, or anxiety. So cold clammy, similar po siya sa though ang kalayan nila is yung cold clammy perspiration is mura kag kanang gikulbaan nga something nga namugnaw, but again it shows nga nakulbaan ka, or might be fear or shock, nakalitan ka, di ba? Mo ni mga basis nga nung makaingon ta nga imong subject ng interview is guilty or innocent. So let's continue our discussion about the third sign and symptom of guilt. So it's all about the dryness of the mouth because of the reflex inhibition of the salivary gland, resulting to the continuous swallowing of leaking of lips. So, are you familiar with or have you experienced nga mag-ugang imong baba or might be imong tilaok nga magkakos nga mag-excessive kag swallowing mo si kag pangton sa imong laway. Then dryness of the mouth, so wala na to nabantayan. The dryness of our mouth and the leaking of our lips is considered dipod as a sign and symptoms of guilt. So maybe there might be lots of reason nga nung nauga imong baba or might be nang leak imong lips. It might be there are lots of reasons, so that's why napoy tendency nga kana nag-show og guilt. So let's move forward to symptoms number 4, which is all about the excessive activity of Adam's apple. So excessive activity of Adam's apple on account of inhibition of salivary gland, there is dryness of the throat, making the subject to swallow. So this causes the upward and then downward movement of Adam's apple. So kaning number 4 is in connected with symptom and sign number 3, katong dryness of mouth, because as what I have said earlier, once nga mag-ugay mong tilaok and there's excessive the account inhibition of salivary gland, so neither is the dryness of the throat making the subject to swallow. So have you experienced na kung mag-ugay mong tilaok is lain paminawon, lain sa feeling, that's why mapugos ka og sigigton sa mga laway. So the swallowing of your saliva will cause your Adam's apple to move upward or might be downward. So that is sign number 4 or symptom number 4, the movement of your Adam's apple, so might be upward or downward. So that is the symptom number 4. We have proceed to the sign and symptom number 5, which is all about fidgeting. So what is fidgeting? So fidgeting is considered as kanabit ang mga small movements which is unnecessary. Just like for example, kana magka-pick up ka sa mong ilong, ears, mouth, and etc. sa imong lingkuranan or tables, etc. So fidgeting, it is subject constantly moving about in the chair, crossing and uncrossing the legs, tapping the table, rubbing the face, picking the nose and ears, biting the fingernails, and twisting the handkerchief clothing. So fidgeting is considered as a sign and symptoms of guilt. So nga namang dili ka mahiluna, nga namang nakay unnecessary movements nga pagkabuhaton nga gi-interview raman ka sa investigator or might be interrogator. So there's a tendency nga you are guilt. Mga mahadlok siguro ka nga masakpan or might be mahadlok ka nga may bawaan ng tinuod. So that's why maka-create ka og mga small unnecessary movements. Pick up ka sa imong ilong, sa imong dunggan, tapping the table, crossing the legs, kay siguro gikulbaan ka, or might be other unnecessary movements. So that is symptom number 5, which is all about fidgeting. So let's proceed to symptom number 6, or the sign and symptom number 6 of guilt. So this is all about the inability to look straight at the interrogator's eye. So kung ari pa ta sa ROTC, it is considered as the tiger look. No, kanang dili bit tiger look, dapat imong mata is naka tan-aw lang sa mata pod sa isa sa person in front of you. So inability to look straight at the interrogator eye is considered as a symptoms or signs of guilt nga naman, because the subject avoids looking at the investigator's eye for fear that his guilt may be seen at his eyes. So mahadlok siya mo tan-aw sa interrogator because for him madlok siya nga may bawaan nga nasiyay sayo, makita siya matang na sayo because nay sa mga butang nga ang uban is mabasa nga na kay gitaguan based rasad sa imong mata, di ba? So the reason why dili siya makatan-aw og focus, dili siya maka straight og tan-aw nimo, it's might be nadlok siya nga makita ang iyang tinaguan based sa iyang mata. So that is number sign and symptom number 6. So let's proceed to sign and symptom number 7. So breathing, it is the very most important sign and symptoms na commonly na siguro nato ang naibawan. So the holding of the breath is an indication of tension, especially when the critical questions were asked and followed by a sudden, explosive, and longer expiration. So i-observe sa nimo ang breathing sa imong subject. So once gali nga more siya mihold siyang ginawa, so it might be i-show na siya og that shows nervous. It might be shock or tension, kay especially when the interrogator will give questions, mga critical questions. So simply nga para nimo maglisod kag tubag or might be nahadlok ka nga tubagon, that's why mohon kasi mong breath. So basin po ka na yung subject is gihubak, so dili na mauha kanang gihubak. So that is the sign and symptoms number 7, breathing, the holding of the breath, especially kanang interrogators mga tag questions. So sana sa tumantayan. Next is number 8, symptom number 8, the peculiar and unusual expression. So ganina mga ug sa katong fidgeting, mga unusual movements. So kaning 8 is all about the peculiar and unusual expressions, mga expressions nga gi-show nimo, mga dili necessary nga expression i-show nimo while doing the investigation or while responding the questions during the investigation. So the not feeling well and not that I remember are sometimes the remarks of the subject, probably to avoid betraying himself in the interrogation. So for example, the interrogator will give you critical questions, no? Then your response shows different sides of expressions now, which is unnecessary or peculiar. So that is also considered as already a sign and symptoms of guilt. So that is number 8. Number 9 is the swearing to the truthfulness of his assertions. Have you been experiencing karamihan kag promise ano no bota? So that is considered as the swearing to the truthfulness of his assertion. So it means a guilty subject and usually utters, I swear to God I am telling the truth. So that is considered as a sign and symptoms of guilt. The swearing to the thoughtfulness of his assertion. Promise, mamatay ba ko wa yun ano bata. So that is an example. Then the last is the spotless record. So is the subject may assert that he is a religious man and that is not possible for him to do anything. So it is similarly like the 9, but ang yung difference lang is ang 10 is spotless record is gi-involve na ang iyang connection sa mga religious groups or might be your faith. Tungod sa iyang pagtuo, dili na siya makabuhat anak. So mano siya. So those are the 10 signs and symptoms we must be aware of as a future criminologist and as a future investigator. So those are 10 signs and symptoms. So that ends my discussion for this topic, the signs and symptoms of guilt. So a definite advantage can be gained from observing and classifying our subject's behavior and emotional symptoms. So as what I have said, we as a future criminologist and a future investigator, dili lang importante, we have enough knowledge about forensic field investigation, but still it is very important nga kabawsad da mubasa or mo observe from the behavior and emotion of our subjects. So kay through we can determine whether our subject is innocent or guilty. So based from that signs and symptoms, we can easily know kung asa ta dapit magbase ug asa ta dapit makakuha og information nga makatabang sa pag-solve sa usa ka kaso. So once again, I am your reporter for this time, Mark Visitim Agon, a second year student from Bachelor of Science in Criminology, Block 9. That's all. Thank you.